So today it is finally time to wash the car. Things disgusting, as you've probably seen. So we'll get some before shots, maybe a couple in the process, and then the after. Alright, well, it's still sort of drying off right now, but here is our after. Still some little specks and stuff that I'll have to get down and scrub off, but it's looking pretty good. Most of that dirt and stuff is gone. Probably have to also do some special detailing around the rear tail lights. There's kind of some crud that got stuck in there, but it's a good start. Okay guys, so back again. It's the next day. Washed the car yesterday, and of course I come back and this is what I find. Had it looking fairly clean, and yeah, of course the birds have found a new place to sit. So it is what it is. Today I'm gonna air up the tires finally. I don't know why I've been putting that off for so long. Also gonna show you some things I did that were off camera purely because they were tricky and I needed both hands. So one very simple but very gratifying fix. I finally fixed the exhaust. It was leaking pretty bad before. Turns out all it was is that little coupling. The bolts had worked their way loose. So I took it apart, kind of cleaned up the area inside, torqued it back down, and now it sounds great again. Definitely still some small leaks here and there, possibly that little hole, I don't know. Also, up underneath there, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but I tore apart the shift linkages, both on the transmission side and where linkage itself attaches to the bottom of the shifter. Cleaned up all those bushings, replaced what I could, and yeah, it shifts really crisp now. Still having an issue with the reverse that I've yet to solve. Mainly it gives you this feeling like it wants to pop out of reverse, and it does sometimes, and I really can't put a lot of load on the car in reverse or else it will force itself out of gear with a horrible noise. So that needs to be addressed. Also, first gear under deceleration. So if you get up going, I don't know, 15 miles an hour and then you let off the gas, it makes this horrible grinding noise. Sounds like it's coming from like the trans tunnel area or maybe the rear end. Hoping it's not a transmission thing. Thinking it could be a bearing, like a carrier bearing in the drive shaft. But again, any ideas, let me know. So the other day I started kind of diving into the motor. As I've shown before, I kind of have some issues with idle. The only way it idles smoothly is at very high RPM. So I played a little bit with the, I don't know what it's technically called, essentially adjusts the air-fuel ratio. Played with that in conjunction with, there's a little screw, let's see if I can find it right there, that little flathead screw, which I believe kind of operates a flap that modulates airflow like constantly. It's just a set flap, I believe. Long story short, you know, I couldn't really find a sweet spot. The lower it idles, the rougher the idle gets. So yeah, I believe we have some problems with some sensors and the cold start valve from the research I've done, which I'm not even 100% sure, but I believe is here. Yeah, but really what I think it comes down to is I'm gonna need some professional, more experienced help with some of this stuff. So for now, I'm just gonna focus on what I can do. I'm currently searching for people that might be able to help me out. But yeah, let's get some stuff done today. All right, so got the tires all aired up. As I mentioned before, right now I'm just gonna focus on stuff that I can do, which means finally the car is gonna get the front bumper put back on. I took it off a long time ago when I was putting wheels on and doing the shocks and springs. Okay, so it's seeming like putting this back on is going to be a bit trickier than it was to remove. What I think I'm going to do is remove these bolts and you know, these little clips here, which will allow this front piece to pop off, and then I should be able to see kind of what I'm doing for aligning all those clips a little better. So I'll get that off. Okay, so that came off fairly easy. I got the bumper set on here now. Makes it a lot easier to line up all these little push pins, and then stick this guy back on that just snaps in basically with a few screws. Although I almost kind of like the look of it like this, but yeah, come back in a second once I pop these. All right, well, I forgot that I tied this cable off into that hole, so I'll have to pop that back off before I can put this the rest of the way in. Okay, so now we seem to have run into a slight issue where getting this side of the bumper properly secured isn't possible because we're running into the wheel. So looks like I'm gonna have to actually trim this today. So just gonna take a little bit off the end here. Not exactly sure what to use. I think I might just try like an angle grinder or something. So give it a shot. Now that does of course mean that the wheels are gonna have to come off temporarily. So go grab the jack, we'll get that off. All right. So we're coming here, we're just gonna take a little bit off right there. Okay, so borrowed my dad's angle grinder. I don't have one at the moment. I would try to video, but it's gonna be kind of hard. Okay, so it was pretty hard to video, but honestly that went through super easily. Obviously there's some burrs. We'll clean those off. Once again, this is all gonna get covered once we get the body kit on here, so no matter how it looks now, it's really not gonna matter. And, you know, eventually, probably when I cut the fenders, at least for now, I'll just make these lines kind of blend. We'll pop the wheel back on, make sure it's enough, and then go to the other side. Okay, moment of truth, did I take off enough? I'll lower the jack down. All right, I'd say we're looking pretty good. Obviously it doesn't look that even, but again, it's gonna get trimmed further. So long as that clears, and it looks like it does, and probably will when we turn as well. So nice. All right, so another issue, I noticed this a while back. If you can see here how much space there is from the bumper to the headlight versus over here, clearly something's not right, and it's not the lights, it's the bumper itself. And I can see under here where it looks like the bumper got hit pretty lightly. The frame itself is okay, but the little bracket that mounts it is a little bent, I think. But basically what that means is, for at least for now, this like clearance thing isn't as bad on this side. So I think I'm still gonna take a little bit off here, but not nearly as much. Eventually I'll have to, when I get my new bumper, like the you know, the Ep4 style that's lower, I want to get this all sitting straight before I put that one on. But for now, you know, this will work. Also, as you can see, I got a little 5mm wheel spacer, basically just to make the bigger wheels clear the strut there. So let's get to cutting. Just like that. There she is. All right, trim this side up too. I'll show you what the other side turned out like. So the other side, after, you know, I took a knife. Could be better, but it ain't bad. Just about looks factory. All right, car's back down on the ground. You can see where we trimmed there. So yeah, I'm gonna actually get in the car, start it up. So we got some power steering, and I'm gonna turn it to full lock and see how it looks, and then we'll snap this piece back on. Okay, so I got it at full lock at the moment. We're pretty clear. Right up in there is super tight. Any bump is gonna make that hit for sure, and I don't really know what to do about that, so project for another time. But it didn't clip this, Let's go check out the other side. So over here, looking pretty good. Again, one bump. Yeah, also sorry for the wind if that's getting really noisy. Storm's kind of picking up. Let's try to turn it a little bit less here. So, comes in pretty close for sure. But, yeah, we're clear there. Check out this side. Clear there. Again, this is a temporary fix. I did have no plans of leading it this close. Let's go the other way. Here's that we've cleared. So, yeah. We can pop on this piece and see what she looks like. Also, you know what? I think I'm gonna try to zip tie this. Those little clips are broke, so I'm just sick of it popping out on me. Just gonna throw a little hole in there and run a zip tie or something for now. Okay, so I got most of it back together. No, this isn't the prettiest, but you know, it works for now. Just a little zip tie there. Bumpers snap back in. The only thing I still have to do is put the screws in that hold this bit on. You can kind of see them in there maybe. But I think the best way to do it is going to be to take the wheel back off to, you know, just for easier access. Actually scratched that. All I really had to do was jack it up and turn the wheel. Now I have plenty of room, so throw those in. Okay, so it's all back together, back on the ground. It's looking good. If the rain comes when it's supposed to, and also the wind's picking up, I think this is going to be the last thing I do for today, which is going to be to clean up the tires and the wheels a little bit. So we'll get you kind of a before shot here, and be back in a sec. I might take it for a quick spin afterwards. Right, another thing I've been needing to do since the car is set, got the vacuum. We got all sorts of little junk up in here and also inside the car. So let's get to it. Right, another cool thing I fixed the other day but didn't show on video is I got all the windows to work. Look at that. Oh, okay, maybe not the back right. I don't know why that one's not working. But it was just a fuse in the fuse box had blown. Apparently that's very common, and luckily I had an extra, so it's good. All right, she's pretty warm, so this is how I get out of the driveway. I try not to use reverse as much as I can, and yeah, we're just gonna push the clutch in and let her roll back. And there's a bump, so I gotta really send it here. All right, first gear. All right, so I'm gonna try to show you that sound it makes in first when you decelerate. Ready? Here we go. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that is, so if anyone knows, one more time. Hopefully you can hear that. It's pretty loud in here. So I'm gonna try to do a little pull through first and second, but I can't go too fast because I'm just in a little neighborhood here. All right, let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right. Well, I think that's it for now. When I'm not by myself, or if I have some help, I'll get some better videos of the car and driving and all that. But for now, that's it. So, see you next time.